All right, welcome to Badass Movie Time. I'm Andrew Gilliland. I haven't done this in like 3 months. The last time I did it, we did Adam Sandler stuff. I've watched a lot of awesome movies. I think the last episode I did, I talked about Until Dawn and the Happy Gilmore sequel, which are pretty unforgettable movies, or are pretty forgettable movies. They were fun though. I was pleasantly surprised with those movies. But the stuff I'm about to talk about, man, I saw some good ass movies over the last couple months. I actually had to leave some of the stuff out. I originally, when I was going to do this episode about a month and a half ago, I was going to talk about Primal Fear. I had just watched Seven a couple weeks ago. There's a couple other great like classic movies I've just been, my wife and I sometimes just put on a movie and just have fun watching a movie. And it's fun to bring up on this show, even though Seven came out 30 years ago. It's still fun to talk about. Like, it's a great movie. But I think most of the movies except for one movie, most of these movies are pretty fairly new movies. So here we go. You guys ready? Movie number 1. Final Destination Bloodlines. I'm a little late to the game talking about this shit. Came out a few months ago. It came out a little bit longer than that. I think it came out at the beginning of the year, didn't it? It was available for me to watch the way I wanted to. I love the artwork on that. There's a little face right there. Look at that little face. Great movie. This wasn't anything spectacular, right? But it was good, I think most people I've talked to who watched the new Final Destination enjoyed it. We had a good time with it. I really like the ending of it. It is up there with Final Destination 2. Final Destination 2 has one of the best endings to a movie ever. I don't really want to... hopefully you've seen Final Destination, some of the Final Destination movies. The original one's great. But the second one ends with the kid blowing up and his arm lands on a table or something. Like, it was just the mom's all screaming and there's just chaos. Perfect. Mwah. This didn't end with... I don't want to ruin it. It's fucking good. This shit's convoluted by this point. I'm glad that they kind of gave Tony Todd like a farewell, sort of. It sucked seeing him, the way he looked in this movie. You could tell he was sick, and I think he died before this even came out, right? As a fan of Candyman and the remake of Night of the Living Dead, I love Tony Todd. So, but this was his series that he has been doing for 25 years now. This was what he was working on, was Final Destination movies, which is cool, man. He's a Grim Reaper in those. I liked him on Holliston, too. Man, I feel like Holliston was just a couple years ago, but that show's like 10 years old now, isn't it? Adam Green's Holliston. Good stuff, though. I enjoyed it. It was a return to form. I really enjoyed... Is this number 6 or 7? I think this might be the 6th. I lost count. I watched the first 3 and enjoyed the first 3. And then I feel like there was a couple or even a few that were pretty fucking stupid that I fell off of. I know people say 4 is really good. I don't know. I was talking to a kid and he said that the 5th one was his favorite. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know about all that. This movie starts off and you're kind of like, here we go. It's a little weird. But if you stick with it, it's pretty fucking good. I enjoyed it. Check it out. I forgot where I watched it. Is it on HBO? I don't know where it is anymore. Go check it out. Next up on Shudder TV, we have Clown in a Cornfield, which is a book series that I was interested in, and it was one of the first books I got on my Kindle. My wife got me for my birthday, so I was excited to watch this. Pretty good, pretty accurate towards the novel, and I guess there's a series of books. So for me, and this is what I'll say, it's a low budget movie. Right, but it's fun. And it's not that low budget. The book, the same with the book. The book in the movie, there's a point in the story when it gets really fucking good, and I don't want to really spoil it. How do I sell you guys on this? It starts pretty typical shit at the beginning of the story. But as it goes on, there's these clever little twists, and it kind of tells you what's gonna happen at the beginning of the story. You kind of have a weird feeling, and it just follows through. It's good. It's fun modern day slasher movie. Okay, this was that older movie I was talking about. I think this came out in 2011 or 2012. I'd never seen The End of Watch, but this shit blew me away, man. This movie was rad. It was really good. I'm not a big cop movie guy, but I watched this and Seven within a couple days, and I was like, this is some good fun. This is a really good movie. No clue where they were going with it. No clue what was gonna happen, and and I enjoyed it. As you can see, other people liked it too. This is a solid cop movie, man. I was never a police officer in my life, but a lot of their downtime and when they're joking with each other and sitting around definitely reminded me of being in the military. Sitting in a truck, talking shit, giving each other shit, that kind of stuff. I don't know. I enjoyed it. Alright. You guys ready? You guys ready for this? All summer, I had a listening mother... Oh, that's a really small poster. I should probably have gotten a bigger poster. Let's fix it. We got it. Not that I like... I haven't said whether I like this movie or not. Did James Gunn direct this shit? Who directed this? Yeah, James Gunn did this. Let me get a good picture here and then we'll talk about it. We're going to talk about Superman. Why is it so tiny? Whatever. We'll do this goon. This goony looking picture. That's a little bit better. Okay. 2025 Superman. I haven't thought about my favorite Superman movie is a terrible canon film. The fourth one, I think, Superman Return. What was it called? The Revenge of Superman's Revenge. I don't remember what the fourth one was called, but it was bad. And there wasn't a Superman movie for a very long time afterwards. There was, I think Nicolas Cage was supposed to be Superman at one point, which I thought that was so cool in The Flash. It sucks because The Flash, the fucking weirdo that played the Flash in the DC universe, the Zack Snyder shit, that Flash, they're trying way too hard with that movie. My issue... First of all, I can't stand superhero fans on the internet. You guys are fucking crybabies about every little fucking thing. You guys pick everything apart. You're entitled. There's an entitlement to this shit that is astounding to me. With all that said, I am going to try and be critical here for a second. I'm probably a bigger fan of Marvel over DC, but I do like DC, and I definitely you have to pay respect to DC because you wouldn't have Marvel without DC, correct? Correct? Am I wrong on that? So, I've never been a big fan of Superman. Superman's that kid on the playground that just fucking makes up superpowers whenever, and he's fucking annoying. But there's still an appreciation there, He's kind of like the OG superhero, the OG big dog superhero. And I feel like James Gunn, although a very silly filmmaker, a very silly guy, and I love Peacemaker, and I love that James Gunn has taken over the DC movies for right now, which Zack Snyder did the Dawn of the Dead remake back in the 2000s that I love. So it's fun to see these horror guys take take a stab at the superhero movies. I believe James Gunn did Brightburn, didn't he? Was that what it's called, Brightburn? The one with the bad superheroes? Anyways, he took Superman and he kind of brought it back to a wholesome guy. Like, he made him a wholesome dude. He didn't tell an origin story too much. A little bit. There's kind of an origin there, but it wasn't like... I feel like when I was growing up, if you made a superhero movie, there had to be an origin story. It was just origin. And I feel like these newer superhero movies are like, fuck all that. He's Superman. He's got the Fortress of Solitude. He's hooking up with Lois Lane. He's got a dog now. It wasn't going back to the Flash. As much as I love the fact that Michael Keaton and they got Nicolas Cage to be Superman at one point, and that he had a little CGI moment. That movie was fucking stupid, and I feel like whoever made that was trying to cash in on. And I have no clue who made the Flash movie. I don't fucking care. If it was James Gunn, it's a fucking stupid movie. They were trying to like. Marvel's had this phase where they're just making dumb shit, like Thor of Love and Thunder, and just these weird fucking stupid movies that are really fun to watch. By the way, I'm gonna say that they're fun to watch. They're movies that are fun to go to like theater and watch. They're just not very good, right? I feel like this was pretty silly, and it doesn't help that I'm not a big fan of Superman, right? I still enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. Like I didn't see the previous Superman movie that had came out. Not talking before Zack Snyder. Was it Super? I think it was Superman Returns. I didn't fucking bother. I didn't care. So, I'm looking forward to seeing what James Gunn does with the DC stuff. I don't think Zack Snyder is as bad of a filmmaker as everybody was making him out to be. I think a lot of that shit was cool. I didn't need the recut of Justice League or any of that, but I like Batman versus Superman. I thought it was kind of fun. It was a little silly, but I feel like DC's over the years has been spending a lot of time trying to compete with Marvel. I don't need there was a couple episodes ago of this show where I was talking about I don't need a fucking universe for everything, guys. You could just make a Superman movie and then make something else. It's okay. Like, I don't need a fucking universe. I don't need a Jason Voorhees universe. I don't think I got it. I think I mentioned that Sweet Revenge was coming out. Maybe we'll talk about that again in the future. Since that episode, I was mostly bitching about the Return of the Living Dead movies that are being made, supposedly. Which, since then, there was a convention, and they had some people dressed up like the zombies from the original movie from Return of the Living Dead, and it looked fucking horrible. I have not been convinced that there's even a movie yet. Supposedly, there's supposed to be a new Return of the Living Dead this December, on Christmas. There's no trailer. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm buying that shit. And that was you're cosplaying to promote your movie. Like, you're just. Whew. So I don't need a Return of the Living Dead universe. I don't need a Jason. With the Jason universe shit, that's what it's called, right? It's the Jason universe. Sweet Revenge was pretty cool. It looks like they're going to try and focus on, like, why did Jason come back from the lake? And so I think that's kind of what they're going for, which is fine. Whatever. Just make a fucking Jason movie. Shut the fuck up. So James Gunn kind of did that with Superman. He shut the fuck up and just made a cool movie. I don't know. I don't really follow, like, a lot of the superhero stuff, so I don't know what people's problems with this movie was, but people were bitching about it. And that brings me to Marvel in their new movie, The Fantastic Four, First Steps. I fucking love this movie. This might be my favorite Marvel movie I've seen in, like, a long time. I really enjoyed I enjoyed the 3 Spider-Man movies that Marvel did. And I'm happy Marvel has the rights to the Fantastic Four again. I believe they also can do X-Men now, right? I think Marvel has X-Men. I thought this movie was fun. I don't feel like it's been kind of weird because Disney bought Marvel, and you had the Avengers and everything, and that's great. The Fantastic Four is what started Marvel. Like, the Fantastic Four is the original comic superheroes, right? From Marvel. That was Jack Kirby and Stan Lee's first comic together for Marvel, I believe. I think it goes Fantastic Four and then the Hulk or something like that. X-Men came it was like Fantastic Four, the Hulk, Thor. That all started in the early 60s. Spider-Man, I think Spider-Man was 1963. I don't know. Who fucking cares? Fantastic Four, I've never been a big fan of the Fantastic Four. I don't fucking, whatever. I'm more of a Spider-Man Hulk guy, but you still gotta, like, kind of appreciate the fact that they set it in a different universe, right? Which is good, so they can just do their own fucking thing with the world and they created this world, and aesthetically it's a very pleasing superhero movie. They brought it back to the 60s. They had the same, like, I don't know, it was just fun. They and they they did Fantastic Four's best story. They, like they had Galactus and Silver Surfer. I recall people were bitching about this movie because it was woke. I guess they just had Silver Surfer's girlfriend be the Silver Surfer. It was the only major thing, and she looked fucking cool, and I like that actress. So I don't, whatever, dude. They did good. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. And it wasn't goofy. I mean, there was some silly, goofy moments in it. It's a kid's movie, right? And this is the thing you fucking grumble fucks on the internet need to remember. They're not making this fucking movie for you. I mean, they might be a little bit, but it's for you to watch with your family. It's like a family movie. So it's kind of stupid to bitch about this stuff. If I was making this movie, if I was working for Disney, and I was like, I'm going to make a Fantastic Four movie, my main audience is children. Star Wars. If I'm making a Star Wars movie, my main audience is children. I don't give a fuck what the 42-year-old bitch on his computer has to say about my fucking movie. So, it's tiring. And if I had listened to anybody, I would have missed out on this movie and Superman. They're fine. They're fun summer movies. I watched them during the winter, but they're fun. You got to take these reviews with a grain of salt, though. I don't give a fuck about superheroes, really. I'm not a superhero guy. But I know enough about it to where I know what the Fantastic Four is, and I like the Thing. Thing is cool. And there's an ongoing joke in the movie where he doesn't want to say it's clobbering time. So, I thought it was fun. And motherfucking Pascal's in it, man. What are you guys bitching about all the time? Alright. Speaking of children's movie, my grown daughter made me watch this wonderful movie. I guess I should have looked it up before I did the show. Didn't the people who did the Spider-Man movies, the Spider-Verse movies, didn't they work on this? It's some of the same makers. Sony Animation. Yeah, I think some of the people who worked on Enter the Spider-Verse movies, the Miles Morales stuff, that I fucking love those movies, right? Those are fun. Charlie and I used to watch the first one back when it was on Netflix. I think we have it on DVD now. We'd watch that shit like every weekend and dance around. And so my daughter was like, let's watch this. And I was like, I don't like K-pop. But I ended up liking it. It was cool. I don't know. It's a girl movie, but there's good music in it. A cool tiger. I don't know if I'm necessarily the one to review such a movie. I'm bitching about Return of the Living Dead and Jason. And then I'm lecturing you guys on not bitching about stuff, right? About bitching about, Silver Surfer being a girl. But then I'm like, well, you can't do this. So maybe I'm a hypocrite. I don't think so, though. I had no problems with Silver Surfer being a chick. I have no problems with rebooting or redoing Return of the Living Dead or Jason. I think I would like that if you just did it and stopped fucking making stupid shit like fucking tabletop games before you even have a movie to promote. No movie to promote, but we're going to promote it anyways. It's weird. Anyways, these guys just made a cool K-pop Demon Hunters movie, and they fight demons and sing. Another kids movie, and I like this probably a little bit better than K-pop Demon Hunters. On Charlie's birthday, we watched Elio. Pixar movie, fun, good stuff. This reminds me of I really liked. Was it just called Lightyear? The Buzz Lightyear movie that they did. Fucking loved it, and everybody's freaking the fuck out about that one too. This is fine. It was good. It's E.T. This is Pixar doing E.T. You guys know that, right? Still good. Alright. Let's talk about my shit. Let's get off the superhero rant. Let's get off the fucking kids bullshit. My movies. These are the 3 most anticipated movies I had for this year. I've viewed the final one tonight. I'm ready to talk about them. Let's get it. Number 1, Weapons. Zach Kreger. I think I'm saying his name right. one of my favorite directors currently. He did Barbarian, which I've talked about on here, as well as he did not do Companion, but Companion was made by some of the same people who did Barbarian, and I think there was a little influence involved there. This is actually his second movie. I heard some bad news. I think they're trying to do a prequel to this right now, but before that, I thought Zach Kreger was doing the next Resident Evil, which I'm way more excited for. I guess he can have multiple projects. I don't want them to touch this at all. I'm also not going to be able to talk very much about this. This movie is great. It is absolutely crazy. If you enjoyed the movie Barbarian, I think this movie is a little bit better than Barbarian, and I fucking love Barbarian. It's twisting and turning, and there's all these twists, and it's a mystery, and you gotta stick with it. It goes back in time, goes forward. I just love it. It's so fun. It's such a fun horror flick. I've actually watched it twice since I saw it the first time. We rented it, and then it was on HBO, and I ended up watching it last week, and just like, yeah, this movie fucking rules. Great actors. Got Josh Brolin, the chick from the Silver Surfers in this one. Why can't I remember her name? Oop, bumped my mic. Is it like Janine something? Silver Surfer actress. Julia Garner. Julia Garner, originally on Ozarks. That's the first time I saw her. And then she was in that stupid werewolf movie that came out a couple years ago that I didn't care for. Great character in this movie. My favorite line, there's a part where some guy's lecturing her and he gets out of the car and she's like, "Suck my dick," and drives away. I'm like, yeah, girl. Wonderful movie. That's it, guys. That's all I'm going to say about this. Go watch this. It's on HBO. It's so good. So good. Anyways, they're talking about doing a prequel with I can't even say with what, but I think that's dumb. I don't care about that. Okay. Weapons. Nailed it, dude. 10 out of 10. Wonderful horror flick. And then I was like, these next two movies, I don't think they're going to be as good as Weapons. Each one of the movies I'm going to talk about, I'm not even going to compare them. They're good for their own individual reasons. This one's a big one. I've been waiting for this movie, the Toxic Avenger remake, for a long time. I mean, when I originally heard that there was going to be a Toxic Avenger remake, wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, tacked onto it or some shit? Let's see. I'm so tired. Guys, I should have done some research before I did. Yeah, it was in development for over a decade, with initial announcements in April 2010. After a lengthy period of changes and setbacks, the project was officially re-announced as a reboot with Macon Blair attached to write and direct in 2019, with production beginning in 2021. This movie has been done since 2023, and we're just now able to get it. I had friends who had seen this in 2023. So they started filming in 2021. So it took 11 years to get this shit off the ground. It was in development hell. Yeah, I think I read about this shit on upcoming horror movies originally. The director, I hope I'm saying his name right, Macon Blair or whatever. That dude is so cool. He's made a couple other great movies, but the thing I wanted to bring up was I knew of him. He was a character in a movie called Murder Party, and he ends up having a werewolf mask melted to his face, and he's chasing a guy around with a chainsaw, and he did such a good job in that movie. He's one of my favorite characters in that movie. So I was like, when I heard he was doing this, I was like, all right. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about this though than I am Weapons, because there's not even really like any twists or anything, but you could tell the director is a fan of trauma. You could tell the director is a fan of horror movies. You can tell this is the shit that he knows how to do. He did his own thing with it. And I always say, when you're going to remake something, you got to do your own fucking thing. He definitely took some liberties with this movie. Peter Dinklage, Tyrion from Game of Thrones, is the Toxic Avenger in this movie. So they... No reason other than Peter's the man, I guess. And I love that he does the voice and he narrates the movie. He's one of my favorite actors, so it works. It doesn't... it doesn't really hurt anything. You would think that when I first heard that, I was like, why? Toxic Avenger is supposed to be like a big guy, right? And I was like, well, okay. And then he's still a big guy. He's just a big little guy. Um, I really like the makeup. I forgot the act. The person that's playing the actual like monster is. It was an actress. It was a woman playing him. What was her name? Luisa Guerrero plays Toxie or the Bod. She. Who's Andrea Miranda? Damn. Oh, she was a blind girl in the original. Anyways, Luisa Guerrero didn't really get a lot of credit for that. Elijah Wood's in it. Kevin Bacon. Pretty fun movie. I enjoyed it. I think that his son in the movie, I think the Toxic Avenger's son is was he the kid in Predators or Predator? I think, or the Predator or whatever. The Predator movie that came out a few years ago. The special effects are great. The director has a wonderful cameo, and as well as Lloyd Kaufman shows up in the movie. I had fun watching it. It's really silly, really really silly. But there was a budget involved, and they went a little crazy. Was it the Hollywood Toxic Avenger that we were expecting in 2010? No. Is that okay with me? Yeah, I'm okay with just. And I'm gonna say some things now, and this might irritate some fans, or some fans of some Trauma fans. One of my all-time favorite movies. Period. One of my all-time favorite movies is the original Toxic Avenger. I have the VHS, and this is gonna sound sick, but I don't think my parents knew what they were giving me when they gave me this film on VHS. They bought it from a rental place. I used to watch this movie every Saturday morning when I was like, from the time I was 7 until like 16. This and the Nightmare on the Night of the Living Dead. I also have Nightmare on Elm Street on VHS. Those were constantly running on my VCR. I fucking love this movie. It is absolutely bonkers. This is before I think Trauma was even a thing, right? No, it's still a Trauma team release. Not Trauma before it was a thing, but Lightning Video is the thing that distributed this movie. This is Trauma's second film, right? It's their first horror movie. They didn't. I don't think Lloyd Kaufman realized he wanted to make horror movies until he made this fucking crazy movie. Now, I love this movie, and I love Lloyd Kaufman, and I like Trauma. Okay. They only have like 1 or 2 movies that I really give a shit about. I like Class of Nukem High, and I like Poultrygeist. I do not like the sequels to Class of Nukem High that took 20 fucking years to make. When did Poultrygeist took forever to make too? Poultrygeist, they started working on it in like 2004. It took like 5 years for that fucking movie to get made. And then he started doing Return to Class of Nukem High, and he released it in 2 volumes or some shit. And I saw 1 volume in 2014. I don't think I saw the next one until like 2021, 2022 or some shit. And they're weird. You could just tell there's a bunch of people that think they know what Trauma is, and they I don't think Lloyd Kaufman gives a shit anymore. Anyways, all that bullshit aside, this is a fucking good movie. I don't care who made it. I got it on DVD too. I love these old Trauma DVDs. I have this in Class of Nukem High, and then I'm good. I'm good on Trauma. And Poultrygeist. I got that Poultrygeist DVD. There's your Toxic Avenger. And I have those Class of Nukem Highs. They're just so fucking obnoxious. I don't know. So I feel like I might not be... Where are we at? I might not be the best person to review this movie, but I grew up with this shit, and I do like Trauma, right? I feel like, and the reason I'm bringing up the fact that I did not like those Return to Class of Nukem High movies as much, I feel like Lloyd Kaufman had a really hard time with those movies, getting them made and getting them released. I don't know why. Um, I don't want to. I don't want to knock them too much because I think people worked really hard on them. I just feel like there's people there trying to capture that trauma feel, and you could say the same thing about even Poultrygeist. By the time Poultrygeist, Lloyd Kaufman's an old man. He's old. He worked on Rocky and shit. Like, I think he's like 70 or 80 now, right? He's old. I think the idea of doing a remake and kind of getting this movie away from Trauma and just letting Legendary do it, and produce it, and not having Lloyd Kaufman. I mean, I think Lloyd Kaufman helped with it. He's in the movie, but like, it's not somebody trying to suck Lloyd Kaufman's dick. It's not somebody trying to appease this weird, like, we've got to be fucking crazy. There wasn't a bunch of weird sound effects and bullshit. There's some weird jokes in it that are great, but those are coming from the director. They're not coming from him trying to be like, oh, it's Trauma, we gotta be crazy. It was good, and it was its own thing, and I can appreciate what they ended up doing with this movie. I guess it's a long story short. So, I feel like if, once again, going back to like, the superhero stuff, it's for kids. This is definitely not for kids. But most people who are watching this are old men like me who grew up with this stuff. And I think we have a certain idea of what we expect or want. And I think that the best thing you can do is do your own thing. I mean, I wouldn't even say I needed a Toxic Avenger movie. But as much as I love the Toxic Avenger 2 and 3 are notoriously garbage flicks. They're awful. They're unwatchable, in my opinion. I think Toxic Avenger 3 is like one of the most unwatchable movies ever. So disappointing. I remember I rented Toxic Avenger 2 when I was like 11. I thought that movie was fucking awful. And then when I was 18, I finally saw Citizen Toxie or whatever. And that was garbage too. And I was like, alright, whatever. I got my original Toxic Avenger. I don't need any more to this shit. Class of Nuke 'Em High had 2 sequels in the early 90s, I believe. So these newer ones were like 4 and 5. It's... the moment's passed. I don't know. I think it'd be cool to try and do their own, like if they did their own, like a new thing. Like you have this new group of young people trying to make Trauma a thing and possibly prepare it for after Lloyd Kaufman. And I feel like it's just going to be a bunch of weirdos trying too hard. I don't know. And I don't want that to sound mean because there's some really cool people that work for Trauma, for sure, like for a fact. I would like to see them kind of like, you don't have to go work for Trauma anymore. You don't have to go work for Full Moon or any of these companies. You can just start your own company, right? Or you can take something and do your own thing with it. The Lloyd Kaufman's an old man. He's not going to make another Toxic Avenger, I don't think. Are they doing a Poultrygeist too? Is that what I read? I think they're doing a sequel to Poultrygeist. I don't know if he'll be alive by the time it's... I don't know. This was great. I like this director a lot. Go check out Murder Party also. Okay, 40 minutes in. I got one more movie to talk about, and I'm going to bed because I'm exhausted. You guys ready? Finally, my wife and I got to watch Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Somebody described this movie as fucking boring to me. And I was not bored whatsoever. This was wonderful. It's great. It's on Netflix right now. Go check it out. If you like The Strain, if you like The Shape of Water, Pan's Labyrinth, it's... I don't want to hype it because I really enjoyed it and I just watched it. I don't want to hype it too much. This is like one of the best representations of Frankenstein that I have seen ever, really. I enjoyed the 20th Century Fox Frankenstein that came out a few years ago. Like 10, 15 years, like a while ago. I enjoyed that movie. This was way better. I was worried when it first started. I was like, I hope this doesn't turn into like Dario Argento's Dracula or some shit. But in the early 90s, Bram Stoker's Dracula came out. Francis Ford Coppola did Dracula, and it was hyper stylized, right? Like, that movie's crazy to watch. Well, within a year or so of that, they tried doing Mary Shelley's Frankenstein with Robert De Niro as a monster, and they were trying to capture the essence of the original novel, but they wanted it to be stylistic. It fell flat. That was kind of boring, right? This movie took all those things. It switched things around, did its own thing. It's very Guillermo del Toro. The monster's really cool looking. They did their own thing, but they didn't go too far with doing their own thing. They didn't over stylize it, right? It's just stylistic enough. I thought it was cool. I thought they did a really good job with it. I enjoyed watching it. I was interested. I enjoyed the way it ended. I appreciated it. I thought it was a very well made movie. Possibly my movie of the year. I can't choose between the Toxic Avenger remake and Weapons, but I think, I mean, Weapons is, that's, see what I mean? I can't pick. I think I'm gonna say this is my movie of the year, though. I think this was a fucking solid ass movie. It's good. Good weekend for movies. We watched Fantastic Four last night, so I've been having a pretty good weekend of watching stuff. I had a couple other movies I saw on Shudder TV, and I watched through the Spanish Record trilogy. The movies Quarantine came from Spain. They're on Shudder. I watched through those, and I saw the new VHS. Not really worth talking about, unfortunately. But yeah, I think this was top notch. Can't believe it was just released on Netflix like that. It's great. I hope he keeps doing stuff for Netflix, because this was awesome. I've been waiting for this movie for a year or two now. I know they announced Guillermo del Toro was going to do Frankenstein, and I was like, well, we got The Strain, which is Dracula, and then we got The Shape of Water, and now we got Frankenstein. He hit all of them. I guess he could do a werewolf movie, but I know Guillermo del Toro started with Kronos, right? And then he did Mimic. And then Pan's Labyrinth was huge. Pan's Labyrinth is awesome. So he's kind of been for the last 11, 12 years, he's been in his classic monster phase. And he had that really good show on Netflix. So, yeah. There you go, guys. 3 solid movies at the end of all that. Definitely go check out. This is available at Walmart. Go to your local Walmart. Elijah Wood did so good in this. I'm actually gonna watch this again tomorrow, because it has a commentary on here, which is the only special feature. It's all you need, man. Nothing like watching a DVD with a good commentary. Does my Toxic Avenger have a commentary? I bet you it does. I don't think they have a commentary on here. Wow. It's so funny. They put so many special features on the Toxic Avenger DVD. There's a commentary on this one, though, and I haven't heard a good commentary in a while. Alright, guys, there it is. The final Badass Movie Time of the year. I don't think there's too much else coming out. We're going to go see Five Nights at Freddy's 2 in the theaters with Charlie next month. So I'm stoked on that. I watched the trailer. You know what? There will be one more Badass Movie Time. I have a list of movies I'm excited to see. I thought it might be fun to watch some trailers for upcoming movies. I'm trying to think of the other big movies. We had Sinners, which was fucking amazing. I'm gonna have to figure out what my favorite movie this year was, because Sinners is pretty high up there too. Does Frankenstein top Sinners? I don't know. Really liked the 28 Years Later. I really liked 28 Years Later. Weapons, yeah, we had some good movies. So, all right, kids, I'm out. Good night.